Hello, welcome to another live stream with me, Rauchenwald, on this so Monday afternoon. I hope you all had a great weekend. As always, before we jump into this episode of Comment Chaos Live, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way first. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. Besides that, we have is that working? Hello, you working? Yeah. As always, we have a Q&A started. So at the top somewhere it says, what would you like to know? Submit your question here. That is where you can submit whatever you'd like to know. And I'm wondering why the heck this is not updating my overlay. Okay, so gotta love OBS sometimes. Anyway, let's hope that the rest works. So yeah, there hasn't been that much news, to be honest. So there's not that much to share today, I guess. One thing I wanted to share or want to cover today, unless there are some other questions along the way, is be aware that a lot of information you will find out there, I mean, you probably already know that, but a lot of information out there is obviously not complete. Hi Gold Coins, great to have you here, or not. It's basically speculation, yeah. So if we look, for example, here Coin Tribune posts that Pi Network delisted by Binance, yeah. I could not find a single post by Binance that says that Binance, so it says here Binance has officially announced that it will not list Pi Network. Maybe it has, but I could not find a single post from Binance officially that says anything in that direction. Yeah, and maybe you guys have a source. I couldn't find any. I asked in this post if somebody has a source, and as I shared, so the thing is, I think it starts all with this. So Binance excludes Pi Network in vote to list initiative. So it feels like there are a lot of pages out there that obviously just create clickbaity titles in order to get views. And then if you don't have an ad blocker enabled, then probably are cluttered with ads at some point. Yeah. So to generate revenue, and you really have to be careful when you read something that it actually provides a source. Yeah. So if somebody says Binance excludes Pi Network in vote to list initiative, that is true, because as you remember, Binance had the recent poll where until the 27th of February, users on Binance Square could vote if Pi should be listed or not. And that poll ended with 86% of users voting for a listing. However, then obviously, if they listed or not is independent of that poll, but if a lot of users want it listed, then chances are that Binance goes through an internal review and whatnot and eventually lists it or doesn't list it. Yeah. It also makes sense that after that, so Binance, after the poll for Pi Network, they announced that they will basically introduce a new vote to list workflow where maybe we can find it, Binance vote to list. Yeah. So first batch of vote to list, where they are asking users, official post, there we go, where they are asking users which of the following should we list, yeah? And since they already asked the community should Pi Network be listed, it would make zero sense to put it in that list again. So you ask your community, do you want to list PiCoin? The vast majority says yes, and then 2 weeks later you are like, okay, we have a new poll, do you want to list PiCoin? It makes no sense, yeah? So my point here is when you see posts like all that nonsense, so yeah, if it's not officially from Binance, then it's pure speculation at best and just FUD at worst and clickbaity at revenue generation content somewhere in the middle, yeah. But yeah, so be aware whenever people share stuff, make sure to ask for the official source. Yeah, maybe, as I said, maybe there is already an official announcement, but it's hard to find anything. because there's obviously so much other stuff. So maybe on the news or so. So this is not an official post. That's just from some user on Binance Square, and Binance Square is nothing but a forum. Yeah, this is not an official post, not an official post. Nothing of those things is official. Yeah, so all of that is just random nonsense trying to get followers or create controversy, or if it's on Twitter, then it's to create views so that you get paid if you are a subscriber of that crappy platform. Yeah, yeah, keep that in mind. So just want to share that. Also, if you have some official source for anything of that, so an official Binance post that says it will not be listed or so, then feel free to share it with me. I don't mind covering it. So, but if you see stuff like that, that user here on Reddit, by the way, is seriously just asking in a nice way, is there any official news? And that's just the stuff that he found. But yeah, keep your mind open. Always double check which domain you are at. Is it an official source? Is it just some random nonsense or not? And yeah, that's actually not relevant. Yeah, don't forget, if you have any questions, please submit them. At the top it says, what would you like to know? Submit your questions here. And yeah, then another topic I wanted to cover. It's very, 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 very rarely. I've probably, ever since we are on the enclosed mainnet, I've probably seen this post and 2, maybe 3 comments on all my videos where users claim that their passphrase isn't working anymore. Yeah, which I'm not gonna say that there couldn't be potentially a bug. Yeah, but in general, in my experience, considering if there would be a bug with the wallet in any way that you have a passphrase, it works, and then suddenly it doesn't work anymore, then obviously I would assume at least that I would have seen over the months or years that we are on the enclosed mainnet where we have a wallet that works, that I would have seen, I don't know, 10, 20, 50 comments claiming that their wallet doesn't work anymore. However, since I really, with this post, it's been at most 3 instances that I see somebody claiming I have a passphrase, it worked, and now it doesn't work anymore. The more likely conclusion is that the person simply didn't write down the passphrase properly. Either they are missing a word, although he claims he isn't, or they have a typo in the word, and need then to compare it with the BIP39 word list, although he claims he did that, and it's also not the case. So long story short, I would actually be curious. Yeah, so I would actually be curious, do you have the situation, or did you have the situation you have your passphrase, it's working and then it doesn't work anymore? And I'm not talking about it's not working for half a day or so because maybe there's some app issue or maybe there's some connection issue with your Wi-Fi or mobile provider, but literally it works for a couple of weeks and then you try and try and try and it just never works again, even if you try on a different network. So instead of your Wi-Fi, a different Wi-Fi or your regular mobile connection. So Gobblecoins, could you clarify, like, did it just temporarily not work for you or never worked again or so? And then also, did you then go through the effort of comparing your what you have written down with a BIP39 word list? So make sure that you don't have any kind of typos or words that you misread because a letter is different or so. And obviously double count that you have 24 words written down. So I'm just curious because my passphrase works flawlessly. And again, if it would be, I don't see the possibility for an issue because if a passphrase unlocks a wallet, then it will always unlock that wallet because the core logic behind how the keys are determined doesn't change. So the only thing I can think of is like network issues that temporarily prevent it. and human error. You know, there's a saying in IT that 95% of all IT issues sit in front of the computer. It's really 95% of the time, even for myself, when something is not working, it's because I'm doing something wrong or I'm overlooking something, and it's not the software issue. Yes, one can argue that the software that I'm having the problem with could have like a more detailed error message or better user interface to make it clearer. So like, for example, if we talk about Pi Network, when you try to unlock your wallet, thanks for confirming, by the way, that it's on and off. So instead of telling you invalid passphrase, if it's just a connection issue, it should just tell you connection timed out or unable to finish whatever request or something like that. So yeah, I just see no possibility, because if there would be a bug of any kind with 17 million KYC verified users, more than 10 million migrated users, there would be, I don't know, 1,000, 10,000. So, but at least a noticeable number of posts on Reddit, comments on my videos, and so on. Messages on Discord, people in the chat here, and so on. Yeah, so, and BAM Studios know, like, I don't know that I haven't seen anything official in the beginning of the stream. So welcome, by the way. In the beginning of the stream, I was just talking about the posts that are making pure speculation. So I haven't seen anything official. My opinion is still, Binance is going through their internal loops of reviewing the project. Maybe they decide to not list Pi Network because of the childish behavior of a couple thousand users that left Binance 1-star reviews. But even then, I would expect that at some point there will be an announcement that would then say, yes, well, we would love to list, or we decided to not list it because it appears that the Pi Network user base is not mature enough or so. Or yeah, like I would expect an announcement at some point. But I also understand that it takes time for them to go through their hoops internally. Yeah. But as I said, I haven't seen anything official. If somebody has seen something official, feel free to share the link. So official, like literally from Binance themselves stating we list or we don't list. Yeah, unchanged there. Yeah. Anyway, so that's about the passphrase stuff. So there, I'm curious if you know other users that say their passphrase isn't working anymore. Ask them, did they count and make sure they have 24 words? And did they compare it with a BIP 39 word list? I already shared the link to that word list. So to make sure there are no typos and so on. So far, so I've seen this post and 2 comments on my videos, and I'm at least for one of those comments, after I told him to double check the words, he replied a couple days later, yeah, he had a spelling mistake in one of the words. Yeah. So which technically brings it down to 1 comment that I saw on my videos and this post. So over all the years, so I rule out the technical issue there. So like, I mean, a issue with the wallets or the cryptography or whatever it's called themselves. I believe it's just networking issue, maybe local firewall settings that prevent certain requests from going through, or a million other local issues, device specific or network specific, but nothing general. But I obviously would like to know, if you know somebody else that had that issue. Yeah. Yeah, they don't. So because you don't find anything official. So if we again look for Binance Pi Network, so you just find, and especially if you then look for news, for example, this is not, so if we take the first 5 results, yeah, this is not a post from Binance. This is a user on the Binance Square that just shares whatever he wants to share. Yeah, no source mentioned. Yeah, so there, show us the official announcement. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so no official announcement. That is a user sharing their opinion. This is a user sharing their opinion. This is a user sharing their opinion. Nothing official, yeah? And even if we take the post that we had here from the Reddit, where somebody shares other stuff from other websites, none of this have a source, yeah? So there it's like Binance will not list Pi, but no, so in its vote to list, which is different. Yeah, again, I covered that in the beginning. So for that, please just watch the first couple of minutes again. No source, yeah, has officially announced that it will not list Pi, but where? There is no source. Yeah, it's just then linking to another article that's about Pi. That's listing to a different site that also has no source. It's also, this is about the vote to list, and that nonsense site just spins it into no listing at all, which is completely independent. So it's just pure speculation right now. So just sit back, relax, wait, see what happens. I cannot find any official source at all, so I'm still assuming that Binance just goes through their hoops. Yeah. Okay, workphrase stuff, we covered that. Yeah, Pi domains. I mean, we covered Pi domains in a separate video, but just to be clear again, if you buy a .pi domain, it will not work by default in the browser. So if you get my username .pi, you cannot launch, or I mean, you can launch a website on it, but it will not work in a regular browser unless that browser has a specific extension available that makes it possible that those domains work. Yeah, and also the Pi domain is nothing else as a domain is, so it doesn't offer any kind of web space or web hosting or whatever. And again, so it basically has a very, very limited use case, mostly limited right now to if you plan to develop an app for Pi, so like Poker on Pi, then you could get poker.pi for people to use in the Pi browser, so to make it easier and to make it kind of, I don't know, like unified. It would also give you the possibility to use pokeronpi.com to have your website, where you actually then have a proper website that talks about the project and is optimized for the computer as well. And then you would have poker.pi or pokeronpi.pi for the Pi browser to have then your actual app there. Yeah. Or whichever your app is. Yeah. That's that part about the domain. So yeah. Crypto.com, not sure if you want to jump into that. I mean, most of you are here anyway about Pi. Yeah, a quick reminder. So there are things like Teltec saying they launched the Visa cards, and then there's PiDaoSwap, which says they will offer decentralized swapping. So that would then work like, for example, Uniswap, where you then would link your Pi wallet, and then you would pick Pi, and then you would pick whatever USDT, and then you could swap it without depositing on an exchange or withdrawing from the exchange. Yeah. So, however, keep in mind, as long as it's not listed as a verified KYB verified exchange or business, you should not use it. You use it at your own risk. So if in the end your wallet gets cleaned out, you don't get the USDC or USDT, don't run around screaming that you got scammed. Yeah. Right now with the open mainnet, the core team has been very clear. KYB verified equals, in quotes, trustworthy. Yeah. At least very, very low chance of ending up getting scammed. Although an exchange can also go bankrupt and stuff like that. We've seen it in the past. But non-KYB verified, and you link your wallet and send money there and whatnot, yeah, then your own risk, especially when it comes to exchanges, yeah. And that's that. And what else do we have? Not relevant, yeah. We covered, yeah, technically it would be a breach, of course, yeah. So you're right. So it's not a swap, but it's bridging it from one blockchain to the other. Although there would be the question, I mean, I'm obviously familiar with crypto, but I'm not a guru in all those areas. That brings up the question, how do you actually then bridge it to something else if you, if you connect your Pi wallet, but your Pi wallet is basically a fork of the Stellar blockchain. But if you switch it to USDC or USDT, you would need to basically then have your payout on an Ethereum wallet or Polygon or some other blockchain. So really, I'm wondering how, yeah. So I'm sure there's a way, But right now, I'm just wondering, would you need to link both wallets, so the Pi wallet and a secondary wallet that then receives the other, or would there just be an input field to enter your address that should receive the bridged amount? So yeah, guys, I'm afraid I will have to cut it short. Doorbell, yeah, but doorbell just rang. It's an appointment that is 10 minutes early, unfortunately. I'm gonna finish with some, not bad news, but with some other news. Considering that after the exchange listing of Pi and so on and everything else that's going on, the number of new important things to share and also the number of questions has been reduced a little bit. We're gonna reduce the number of episodes of this live streams from once per day, Monday to Friday for now, to once per week. And it will be on Thursday every week from now on, at least for the foreseeable future. Mostly not because I don't enjoy having that time with you guys, but also because I want to have more time to actually work on videos. I feel like I'm right now just preparing what I can share every day during the streams, and sorry, I was reading the chat. Sorry. Unfortunately, please address my question. I will not have the time for it. So, like I said, I have an appointment now that unfortunately is 10 minutes early. After the stream finishes, just write your question again as a comment, or just go to one of my videos and leave it there as a comment, and I promise I will reply there later today, then in the comment directly. And other than that, maybe I'll manage to throw in another live stream tomorrow, because I really didn't plan to cut it short like this. Either way, unfortunately, I have to go. So yeah, not the best episode or not the best stream for letting you guys hang like this, but thank you so much for understanding. Have a pleasant rest of the day, and I promise I'll be there to answer all your other questions in the very, very near future again. So till then, bye-bye.